Welcome back from that short break, and of course you're still watching Urban Today. On our Kachai this morning on the show, I'm going to be talking to gentlemen coming in from Cyber School Technology and Solutions. Now, these gentlemen have a software that is enabling parents, students, or pupils and teachers to interconnect as far as bettering their academic work is concerned. You could be hearing about it for the very first time, but hitting you up is that they have been in existence from 2008 when they did get to sign a contract with the Ministry of Education and Sports, and apparently they're in over 1,000 schools. On my immediate right, I do have Mr. Charles Yakani, who also doubles as the e-learning development software manager. Good morning to you, Charles.
Yes, good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm very great, thank you.
Good to have you on the show.
Oh,
we're going to talk education. I
yes.
like this kind of topic. And then on my far right, I do have Raymond. We have Azaida, who's doubling as the marketing and, of course, sales manager down at Cyber School Technology Solutions. Good morning to Raymond.
Morning, Derek.
How you doing?
I'm very well and very happy to be here on Urban TV.
That's brilliant. It's a pleasure for us to host you. Let us talk about, this software. But before we get into the details of the software, what is Cyber School Technology Solutions about? I mean, when we hear cyber, school, what should come into our heads?
Yeah, Cyber School Technology Solutions is a software development company. And our main focus from the name school, basically our main focus is education. And the software that we develop is directed to students and schools. So that's what we do.
Okay.
And again, our main focus in Cyber School Technology Solutions is to address the concepts of science. I know you've been in school.
Yes,
and
I have.
I would love to hear how you performed in science during your time in
unfortunately,
school.
unfortunately, but fortunately for
Yeah.
the job I'm doing right now,
Yeah.
I was never more of a science student. I used to be more on the sides of art, and I was very good in art. But science, I just do, okay, I need to do and finish this. When I go to HSC, I do my Hague art.
You drop
and,
everything.
yes.
That's the thing. That's the thing. And so many students in O level, even during the time when I was in school, found science to be hard. And they could not wait to drop science like a hot potato when they reach S4. And what our question then would be, why do they have that kind of feeling? Why do students have that kind of feeling that science should be for somebody else and not for themselves?
Yes.
And that's why Cyber School came into existence actually. The idea that science is very hard, and it flows in many students' minds that science concepts are very difficult to understand. So in 2005, when the Ministry of Education made sciences compulsory at O level,
Yes.
Immediately there was a lot of failure. Students failed sciences massively, and we saw a gap there at Cyber School. So our parent, I could say our CEO and a number of friends came together and said there is a need that needs to be addressed in the education sector, particularly in science, and that's where we came in to fill that gap.
How has the reception from these different schools, because we are talking about a number of 1,000 plus schools in the country, not forgetting that even the software has spread down to our Kenyan sisters and brothers.
Yeah.
How has the reception been as far as them getting very acquainted with this software is concerned?
The impact is immediate. Because the essence of this software is the use of the aspect of sight,
Okay.
the visual aspect. The film you saw 10 years ago and enjoyed it, it will stick in your mind much better than the newspaper you read this morning. You saw the way Onyango saved that penalty in Cairo.
Yes,
and
I
stopped that ball from going in. That visual aspect, it's stuck in your mind much better than anybody who would have written about it, even 1,000 pages would have explained it. So the aspect of sight is very, very important in the way our software works.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you, if we're to bring in the aspect of parents and teachers and the students working together, how does the software connect these three people?
Of course, initially our main focus was the schools and the students. The main focus was schools and students. In the schools, teaching of science has been very theoretical. Very theoretical, really, where the practicals were mainly in Senior 3 and Senior 4. And so students in S1 and S2 are always taught these hard and dry concepts of science theoretically. So when we brought in digital science, which basically, as Raymond has said, we animated some of the concepts of science. For example, the beating of the heart. I'm sure when you are taught, the teacher would just use his chest to explain the beating of the heart. Now we have animated a real, something like a heart, and when it pumps, you actually see how it works.
Does it also
Because in
beat
real life, you cannot bring a heart.
does it also beat at the speed of 72? Because they used to tell us the heart beats at the speed of 72 every minute.
It's called really virtual reality. You bring reality but virtually.
Okay.
So that's what we did. So the heart pumps, the rib cage moves, and everything as though it is real. Now that animation alone is really captivating, and students love that. Now in schools, once we have gone into a school and we've just done a demonstration of how this software works, students just fall in love with it immediately. Now, we've had challenges with teachers. Of course, this being technology, it means a teacher who has not been taught how to use technology in teaching may find it hard. So again, our approach in the school is to train the teachers.
Okay.
So we handhold, we handhold teachers to train them on how to use this software in the classroom.
Okay.
So for those who are trained, I can tell you
How
it
does
is-
the parent, get to be part of the equation?
Right. The parent being he is a stakeholder in the school. And of course, this is not, the software is not free. So the parents need to know that they need to contribute a certain fee for this software. But now what we have come up with is that initially this software is only in the school. So when the students go home for holidays, they don't have access to it. And if they would like to do revision, then they may not have access to this very useful tool for revision purposes. Now, at the moment, we are not online. Now, where does the parent come in?
Yes.
The parent, we are encouraging parents to ask the students if this software is in the school, can they also come and have the software on their laptops or desktops at home?
At home.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
that-
is something you can
very
also
important.
do.
This is now what we are appealing to parents. Yes, we have decided that this needs to be done. So a school where we have a contract running, we would like to extend the service from the school to home. So
Does that mean that the parent is going to pay an extra cost?
It's a small fee.
It's a small fee.
small fee which is manageable, I'm very sure.
Let me just add something about parents.
Yeah.
Permit me to appeal directly to parents. We have been privileged by Urban TV to have this program running weekly under the program titled Digital Science for You. We're going to have lessons every Sunday at 6 p.m. on Urban TV. Parents, children, and all stakeholders, please tune in every Sunday and see what digital science is all about. Now, if this software is not in the school where your child is, talk to the owner of that school, because we are in touch with these schools and they are telling us it is the parents' decision to have the software in. If you see what you like every Sunday at 6 p.m., call your school, call us, and we work together to bring digital science to all the schools of Uganda.
That's very beautiful. Now, Raymond, building on from what Charles talked about, the challenges, the fact that sometimes these teachers have not, been equipped with the technology that we need, because basically if we talk about, software, we're talking about the ICT, which is something that is still developing in our country. Now, for someone who is in Arua, who is in, areas where the connectivity has literally been poor, what are you guys doing to better that connection, and how do you want to help, someone who is good at sciences, let's say from the north, from the east, but unfortunately they cannot access this software?
Good enough. For the time being, our software is not web-based. We install the software on school PCs. And Charles, the technical person, can say something more about that. We can reach all the schools of Uganda as long as we have an agreement with these schools, either directly or through the Ministry of Education. As Charles said earlier, we are in over 1,000 schools with the cooperation of the ministry, and I take this opportunity to express our gratitude to the Ministry of Education and Sports, and through them, the Uganda Communications Commission, who have enabled us to install our software in over 1,000 schools in Uganda, both rural and urban. So it is possible for any teacher, any student, anywhere to access this software. For the teachers who are not, you mentioned earlier, for the teachers who have taken time to embrace the software, we have an arrangement for that. Part of our arrangement is to train teachers. We also have follow-up training in schools. So teachers who are not quick to take on, we have an arrangement for that to see that we gradually they come on board, they embrace the software. And once the students themselves have embraced it, the teachers have no choice.
What seems to be the hardest challenge that you guys have failed tonight? Because for someone who has been in existence from 2008, when you got to sign the official agreement with the Ministry of Health, up to now, you have been in this business for about 10 years.
Yep.
So I literally would expect, if, you know, wishes were horses, we would ride. I would expect every school in the country, you know, to be having this software as we speak. But unfortunately, not every school can attain this software. What has been the biggest challenge for that?
Yeah, two main things. Of course, we've said digital science is software, so that means it must run on a computer.
Yes.
So the biggest challenge we faced is that many schools do not have computers. That's
okay.
number one. Two, of course, for those that have computers, power, electricity is a challenge. Again, we are grateful to Uganda Communications Commission that has set up labs in many of the rural schools. Those that have, do not have access to the main grid, UCC has given them solar-powered computers. And then, so we are able to also install the software on those computers which are solar powered. Yes, but that is real. That has been our main challenge, that not all schools in Uganda have access to ICT infrastructure, and therefore many are not able to partake of this wonderful software that is supposed to demystify science and make it like, you know, piece of cake, so that, you know, nobody should fear Archimedes' principle.
Why haven't you thought about having this software on our phones? Because, you know, on the other hand, as it may be, you know, very difficult for me as a parent to own a computer at my home, but it may be easy for me to own a smartphone where most of our work is done. Have you thought about having this software on our smartphones?
Most definitely we have. Actually, it's a work in progress.
Okay.
You know, in software development, most of you who are familiar with, like Microsoft, for example, they release versions. So you hear Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, depending on the need. So also we have assessed need, and in the next 1 or 2 years, 1.5 years, we are going to release 3 different versions of this software. One is going to be an app, which will run on the phone, like you have said. Then we'll have one on the web, where somebody can download. And if you want just a topic only, you'll be able to download just a topic for yourself and pay for it.
Okay.
You don't need to wait for anybody else. You have your M-Pesa, you have your Momo. You just pay for a chapter and you're done.
Okay.
So those are things we are looking towards developing. And then we'll have what we call a network. Like you have a local area network, so you have a server, so we'll also you just install on one server and you should be able to run. So those are 3 areas, 3 versions that we are looking forward to. So yes, anybody with a tablet, with a mobile phone, in about 1.5 years,
21st century could be the best century to happen to any of us millennials as far as education is concerned. But now I want Raymond and Charles, I want to take you back to where all this started in 2005, when the government came out to make sciences compulsory. But then unfortunately, you know, the results did not really be positive. They were negative, and it took a couple of months and years for the government to actually better the results coming in from sciences. Now with this kind of, you know, software, that means, you know, science kind of results are going to keep on improving and improving. Where is this leaving the future of our history? This is something we have always talked about as far as, you know, the education is concerned. Most of our children out there will easily relate to the French Revolution, they'll relate to the World War I, II, III, but unfortunately they cannot relate to our, you know, history down here in Buganda per se. Where are we living the future of our history? If we are to promote science here and there, where are we living that?
Oh, a good question. I'll attempt to answer, and then also Raymond will
Yeah, I mean, it's a collective question.
Being a scientist myself, I should say that history shouldn't be neglected. But then again, as a government, there's a government policy of promotion of science and technology and industrialization. So we, as Cyber School Technology Solutions, are just tapping into into that policy of science and industrialization. That does not mean history and geography and all those other things should be neglected. Of course, eventually, I'm not saying we will focus on that as cyber school. Eventually, when that need arises, we may also try and animate a little bit of the Buganda history, do a little bit of the tourism in Uganda, because technology is about adaptation. So you could adapt. You could adapt to the situation at hand.
Okay.
So it is possible. I mean, to create animations that talk about the beauty of Uganda, for example, in geography, that's not far-fetched.
Okay.
So we are not neglecting that. But at the moment, our focus really
on
is
science.
on science because of that policy.
Raymond,
Yeah, Raymond.
would you please chip in on this one?
When Uganda government, through its Ministry of Education, cried out about the sorry state of sciences in our country, the directors of cyber school technology responded to that cry. And they felt that this is where our education crisis is most critical in the science area. And they invested their time, a lot of money into it. Those of you who watch our programs on Sunday will see simple-looking animations, but a lot of time, money, and effort have been put into it. So they focused on that to develop this content to address the science subject. And I don't know, we don't have enough time here, but I will tell you there have been good results, testimonies, schools that had never registered even a credit
In science.
with the intervention of our software, registered distinctions. Failure rates have dropped. So we're happy about those achievements. We want to achieve more, but there's a lot of work still to do. We work with the National Curriculum Development Center, who, as you know, deal with the entire curriculum, arts and sciences. If the need comes and we are called upon to digitize content in other disciplines and history, I'm sure we will rise to the occasion.
So it is something that can be done.
It
We
can
have
be
not
done.
neglected it,
No.
but we are handling something that needs
That is focused.
emergency help. Now, okay, as we do get to wrap up, Charles, I want us to talk about the rate of update, because when you talk software, for someone who is very relevant with the ICT, they know that with the software there's always an upgrade every now and then.
Yeah.
How often do you upgrade or even update the software?
We have about a 3-year cycle. We usually do the updates over a period of 3 years. Again, as Raymond said, this software, much as it may look simple, but there's a lot of coding, there's a lot of script that goes into it to make it what it is. So it takes a bit of time. So we have a cycle of about 3 years to release new versions. Now, what we do in the process is actually I work with teachers. In my department as e-learning software development, I work with teachers. So where there is a curriculum change or where there are specifications that UNEB has specified that this needs to be like this, so I call subject panels. Every subject has got a head. Then we call in subject panelists. We sit, we write new content which addresses that need, and then that content is
And
animated.
it is up to you
and
to
then
move
we
around
update
the
it.
country
I-
and make sure that every
pick.
school where there is your software,
Yes,
you update.
We get updates, yes.
So when we talk about science, we have physics, we have chemistry, biology,
Biology and
mathematics.
mathematics, those are our core subjects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, as we do get to wrap up, I need you to inform the viewers. We are going to be, launching Dig to Science, a program that's going to be airing every 6 p.m. on Urban Television every Sunday. What is Dig to Science about? What should people expect?
Right. Yes, very good question. And my appeal is this. Digital science and virtual lab basically is the whole O-level curriculum of physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics digitized and animated. We have animations that illustrate the hard concepts. We've got a little short text notes which enable the students to pick the concepts quite quickly. Then we also have voice for those who are not able to speak. There's also voiceover for everything. So this software is available in schools. Now, our appeal is that in the evening on Sunday at 6 p.m., tune in to Urban TV and watch the lessons that have been specifically prepared for the benefit of you at home as a student, you at home as a parent. Just see, because you are just hearing digital science. You may not know what this is about. Sit, 6 p.m. Sunday, and watch and get
We're
captivated.
going to have
Thereafter, you can
music.
call us and we can also install the software on your computer at home so that the student can continue to enjoy.
Very simple. Raymond, you're saying something?
We will alternate physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, across the board, S1, S2, S3, S4. And please call in, give us your views, ask for what you would like to see so that this program may be interactive. I would like you, our viewers, our parents and all stakeholders to be part of this program and promote it.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Charles. And of course, Raymond coming in from Cyber School Technology Solutions. Now, for the parents right there that have been having, hard time or even problems helping your children in holidays with some of these holiday packages, I think this would be the best time for you to make things easier for you, the child, and even the teacher at school. Make sure that you call up for these guys to come and install the software. And in case they have not been to the school where your student or your child goes to, then you definitely have to raise it up in one of your parents' Teachers Association meetings. And don't forget to watch Urban Television every Sunday, 6 p.m. Dig to Science. All the science that you could need, making the world a better place to live in. We're going for a very short break, but when we do get back, the second hour of the show will be on the flip over of the chart.